This is Super Mario Odyssey, but every kingdom is sideways. So instead of running and jumping like normal, Mario has to navigate a world where floors are walls are cliffs, and his most powerful enemy is gravity. I cannot emphasize enough how much this single level modification completely changes every single kingdom. And it also heavily breaks every kingdom, yeah. Mario wakes up in Cap Kingdom and things are already off to a great start. What is this? It's already so scuffed. Where am I? I'm falling already. Despite the entire level trying to dump Mario into the void, Cap Kingdom is actually a great tutorial level due to all of the railings. However, the gravity is hard to get used to, leading to a missed jump, but it at least brings me closer to Cappy. This works, I guess? Is Cappy here? Where's Cappy? I have to be so much more careful. Okay, this is so much harder. What? Oh, wait. We just spawned with Cappy. And it was here I discovered cutscenes are also sideways. Excellent. I love this. I love this view of Mario. I know the premise of this video was literally in the title, but I was seriously struggling to determine which direction was up, and this led to a lot of deaths early on. No! And at times I felt like even the game itself was having a hard time knowing which way was up. And you know what else is up? Less than 2% of you are subscribed, which seemed crazy to me until I realized that over half of you watch me on a TV. Is it even possible to subscribe on a television? It is actually. Just grab your remote, press up twice, and then press enter. After falling off this railing like 7 times, I accidentally made it onto this wall, and it made me realize I was going all wrong about this. By climbing up onto the wall of Bonneton, I could just jump onto this bridge and... Wait, that's death? I thought I was using the big brain technique. Okay, so the death planes for every kingdom have also been adjusted, which means that you sometimes die in weird locations. And maybe later there are places where you actually never die and it soft locks your game. By carefully jumping down, Mario can activate the lever, the camera pans off stage while the props are moved, and Mario can continue to Top Hat Tower. And let me tell you, I've never played a mod that makes simple things like getting in a door so difficult. No! No! Okay, Mario, just die. Just die, please. After some quick thinking, I managed to actually jump onto the side of Top Hat Tower where I learned a bit more about its model and then managed to make it inside. The water in here is extremely helpful for gaining height, making getting to the door pretty easy, but for some reason whenever Mario is in tight quarters, the camera just freaks out, leading to stuff like this. Get in there! Am I in? Hello? Yes. We now climb the remainder of Top Hat Tower by ascending these lampposts and then just walk up the side of the hat. The top has a new battle arena for Topper, and after a quick battle, Mario and Cappy are ready to set off. That was the hardest Cap Kingdom I have ever done in my life. Oh honey, that shit doesn't even remotely compare to my suffering in Sand Kingdom. But next up is Cascade, and this kingdom had some really cool challenges. At first I kept falling near the waterfall and needing to reset because I was dying or falling forever. And then I realized I wasn't actually falling forever. I was landing on the other side of the waterfall. Wait! I'm cracked! On the other side, I tried capturing the dino, which made the camera do this, and then in something I can only describe as a convenient fumbling, I managed to perform this mod's version of Dino Skip by swapping captures over to this moon. This was unfortunately the first of many moons, which are just unobtainable because the camera breaks whenever you touch them. Like, I am 99% sure they are despawned when this happens. I tried everything. After an entire business day of attempts, I gave up and headed to the other end of the kingdom, climbing up using this chain chomp near the first power moon. On this cliff, I could actually jump down to the 2D section, but I couldn't open it because of the angle of this chain chomp. So I jump off toward Madame Brood's battle arena where a surprise was waiting for me. Wait, the multi-moon! No! There was a temporary lapse in my judgment. I would like to apologize. On my next try, I managed to grab the free multi-moon, and then I used this chain chomp near the Odyssey to get in this pipe, which spits you out perfectly into the next moon. For the last moon, I figured I could get one from the 2D section, but it turns out the camera is completely broken for all 2D areas. Joke's on them though, because I managed to abuse photo mode to check my location and eventually got the moon. With the Odyssey finally powered up, I could make my way to one of the most busted locations in this entire playthrough, Sand Kingdom. This place is basically 90 degrees sideways, which makes the first moon in town easy, along with the moon in the stone archway, even if it makes Mario tiny for some reason. But it turns out it's not some reason at all. Mario is actually appearing tiny because— wait, why is there another Mario? What? Why is there just a— what's he doing? Why is there another Mario? My brain can't even comprehend what's happening. Where does this guy keep coming from? Who is he? Why is he here? I don't understand. Can we kill him? Good. Why? Cappy! Cappy went to him! What is other Mario doing over there? Bro is on another mission! Trying to move forward, I managed to airstrike the bird moon and collect it, somehow found the ground pound moon in this sub area, which is on the wall now, and jump all the way to the top of the inverted pyramid to get this one from the statue's tail. I was starting to learn how to control both Marios, but at times it was still giving me an existential crisis. Who am I? I genuinely do not know. Luckily, this Bullet Bill sub-area is trivial when flipped on its side, and collecting most moons around Tostarena ruins was actually pretty easy when diving from the Odyssey. Some moons like this one have actually been moved as well to still be accessible, which was nice to see. But as the remaining moons became more difficult, I was beginning to slowly descend into madness. I feel like I can do this one. I'm just fake Mario now! What? Since when? What do you mean? I was never this Mario. What? I think I'm fake Mario. I don't think I'm real. I was having all sorts of difficulties reaching the last couple moons, and I couldn't get any sub-areas to load either. But when all hope was lost, I had an epiphany. I'm not real. Hear me out. What if I'm the fake Mario, and to go into sub-areas, we need real Mario? So I have to keep real Mario with me to get into any sub area. Is this true? Am I fake? Am I real? Wait. Oh my God, I'm real! By using real fake Mario, I managed to get the Ice Cave treasure moon, grab the moon behind the Crazy Caps counter, crash my game by talking to the Crazy Caps employee, and maneuver the final 2 poison sub-areas to get the final moons. These ones were awesome, as you could skip basically the entire thing once you finally got in. With all of the moons loaded into the Odyssey, Mario and Cappy could finally set off once again at a mildly uncomfortable angle. On their way to Lake Kingdom, the two eject the imposter and are excited to relax at the waterfront. Except there's one little problem. There's no waterfront because the entire kingdom has sunk into the water. However, this isn't too bad as Cheep Cheeps allow for easy traversing of the kingdom now, and this made most moons either unchanged or easier. Well, except for this pillar moon not existing, and this note moon breaking the camera, and the topper fight somehow getting even worse. But after defeating him, I got the multi-moon, and I really love how Cappy just got left out of this celebration. The last few moons were straightforward for once. I grabbed the treasure in the spiky waterway, the moon in the hidden passage, and the water made this timer challenge moon comically easy. Wooded Kingdom was a very different story, as this kingdom normally has a lot of verticality, but here it was a lot of horizontality. Horizontality. Shit went sideways. First up was the Mips moon, which was an easy catch, and the rolling rock in the woods was just one Odyssey trip away as well. Jumping down once more, Mario can walk on this wall to get the nut moon in the tunnel, but I was already struggling with the shifted world as I couldn't even get through this lever door. But it turns out most captures have a higher slope walking tolerance than Mario, so I used the nearby Hammer Bro as an exploit to get to the second nut moon nearby. However, the up route I normally use to get through the red maze doesn't actually push the platforms up here, so I decided to move on and kill myself. In-game. From the Odyssey, I realized I could get this moon easily, and I get the moon easily and then make a sneaky jump off the platform to enter the waterlogged pipe, and this was definitely one of the sub-areas of all time. Where am I? What is even happening? It's completely upside down. Sure, that works, I guess. I can't even see where I am. Okay. Why is the camera doing that? Where am I? What is this sub area? Please? Yes. Yes. After heading back to dive off the Odyssey, I figured I should make the leap to get the first story moon, complete with a sideways celebration. It was becoming more apparent I couldn't make it anywhere in this kingdom unless I started at the Odyssey, so fast traveling there was becoming my default tactic. What happens if we go in the Odyssey? We can't. Wait, we can? Somehow this feels wrong. Next up was the tower sub area where I could easily grab the moon planted in the tower, and I found it kind of amusing that you still needed the uproot to collect the second one here. Just outside, the duo could then challenge Spewart, and I definitely thought this fight was going to break the game, but it somehow functioned kind of exactly how you would expect a fight with Spewart at a 90-degree angle to go. The multi-moon grabbed, I only needed 3 more moons, and I thought things would be easy by jumping up to the top of the red maze. But no, it can never just be simple, can it? Uh-oh, that's not good. Eventually, I found a Sherm that didn't clip through the floor and drove that baby all the way to the top to grab another moon. Back at the red maze, I realized I could just go through the opposite entrance, which made me feel kind of stupid, but that left me with 1 moon remaining, and I decided to get the final one from the Paragoomba sub-area. Mario and Cappy hop on the Odyssey, take off, crash into this wall, they die, and in heaven, Bowser is waiting to fight them. Except this time, the entire area is just in the clouds. Like in the clouds. This, along with an awkwardly tilted arena, made for an unexpectedly difficult fight. Lost Kingdom was a mixed bag. The slope here made a lot of the moons super easy to grab, some moons were virtually impossible, and some moons were changed altogether. Overall, this kingdom wasn't causing me too much trouble. That was until I became fixated on the butterfly moon. I don't know if it's the simple nature of the objective, but I could not stop trying this one. That was until I found my next obsession, which was this ground pound moon. I don't know why, every time I got the ground pound correct, I would just start panicking and fumble the controls. I died like 12 times trying to get this for some reason. After finally getting the moon, I decided to go back to the butterfly, which I gave up on, and then just randomly found Captain Toad right by the Odyssey. The two take off into the poison and make their way to Metro Kingdom, and this has to be one of my favorite kingdoms. The night metro sequence is really easy, as the tilt lets us get to the top of City Hall quickly, not to mention this completely broken moon which actually skips the Mecha Wiggler fight entirely. Day Metro was another story. Not because it was more difficult, but because I realized they modeled this city after San Francisco instead of New York. Just look at these drivers, man. The cars! Look at this, he's doing a wheelie! The RC car moon was broken, but the garbage moon was fine, and I figured to change up the route a bit, I would go straight to this rocket sub area, and the angle here meant I could skip the entire challenge. I was also happy to see Bench Friends worked, and getting all of the band moons wasn't too bad, except for the trumpeter who tried to touch Mario's balls. In fact, it was everything but the moons I was having difficulties with. For every moon I would jump and collect easily, there was an accidental jump that would land me in a never-ending fall through purgatory because there's no death plane below the city. Collecting the moons around City Hall were a bit more treacherous because of this, but they were pretty fun. The extra danger of falling and soft-locking your game really gets you on the edge of your seat. This crowded sub area also had me on the edge of my seat, but only because I was getting ready to throw it. This sub area is straight ass. The only redeeming quality is the coordinated twist that everyone does together. Because trying to go uphill against this crowd and then also manage to jump up onto the moon was so frustrating. Luckily, the second moon here was free. The next moon from the Crazy Cap shop wasn't free, but it was a much more pleasant experience, and with the Girder moon, I only needed one more, which I grabbed from the slots. Next up is Snow Kingdom, and this one was weird. It was tilted nearly completely sideways, and the limited visibility made it really hard to find Captain Toad, so I started with Shiveria, which was a bit more obvious. And Shiveria had an unexpected surprise in store. That does mean we have one easy moon right here. Wait, what? What is this? I mean, I'm not complaining, I just don't know why they're all here. I guess since Shiveria is so tilted, some of the sub-area moons have become impossible to get. From here, I gathered a couple more easy moons in town and headed for the Windchill Cavern, where it dumps you straight into free fall. Eventually, I captured the Taifu to get the moon top the Blustery Arch, but the Gusty Barrier moon gave me some difficulty. You still have to clear all of the spinies for it to spawn, and then it's this super awkward jump up to reach it? For the final moon, I decided I should tough the blizzard to find Toad, and after a while of searching, I finally found him. It's kind of wild to me how tilting the kingdoms can sometimes make them totally unrecognizable. And speaking of unrecognizable kingdoms, Seaside Kingdom is a disaster. All the water is displaced to one side, meaning navigation here is extremely difficult. Sure, there are a handful of moons which are made even easier by the water being down here, but for the most part, this place is a huge challenge. And that's not even mentioning that the story moons do this. Oh no! It broke the game. I decided to search the water for any more easy moons before climbing the kingdom, which led to this painting moon, a dory moon, and this Gushin sub-area, which was actually kind of sick. But the fun was over and it was time for the hard work, scaling up the dried up sea with a Gushin. Not only is there very small ledges to work with here, but with no water, every Gushin quickly runs out of water, meaning they are limited in how far they can go. After sacrificing the lives of 6 Gushins, I can grab this checkpoint to use in the future and then work my way up to the Glass Palace treasure chest. The next moon is even more difficult as I need to traverse up this reef section and somehow manage to jump around this coral to get the moon in the tunnel. It was such a simple goal, but knowing one mistake could send me to the bottom of this place was keeping me humble. With the shortcut moon, it was becoming evident most of the regular any percent moons were off the table, so I figured I would try the 2D section, entering the pipe in the most awkward way imaginable. And here I forgot about these invisible blocks, exited the pipe end, fell down, and decided maybe the Goomba moon would be easy. I grabbed a Goomba and found out you could run up this wall with some jump spam and then drop down. Where is she? Where are we dropping? Yeah. Who put that water there? That is messed up. I got the moon after another try, and after searching around for one more easy moon, I decided to give in to the intrusive thoughts and just try another story moon, and to my surprise, it crashed the game. Just kidding, it actually worked, and we could leave this stupid beach. And a nice change of pace, Launching Kingdom was tilted only half as much as Seaside, meaning most regular any percent moons should be fine. Emphasis on most, as immediately in the spirit fight, a moon was just chilling, and I was very careful not to collect it because you know for sure that thing is going to break my game. I also skipped the first sub-area moon because I mean, look at this. But collecting the moons around town were all pretty easy beside one small problem. What is going on with the visuals here? Something is very broken visually. It's very steamy in the town here, and not in a good way. What is up with this place? Oh, wait, what? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. Sure. From here, we obviously can't make the regular long jump, so I opted for a lava bubble to get the moon in the salt, and next up was the Volbanin room. I had no idea these guys had a government name, I just call them forks. This sub-area was bizarre. Everything from entering straight into freefall to the bizarre angle this place is tilted at. The first moon was easily obtained by jumping along the tower and then off the top to get it in freefall. The next moon was much more tricky, but a fun challenge nonetheless. It's perfectly enclosed in this cage on all but one side, the open side being the bottom. This means jumping from the nearby fork won't work as you're too low. The only way you can get to it is by nailing a cap dive jump right underneath, and it was very satisfying. Honestly, I kind of regret saying all the moons here would be fine, as the next 2 story moons were both scuffed. The one by the Hammer Bros was just gone, so I grabbed a moon over the lava, then the multi-moon was just chillin'. I decided I would get the last 2 moons in the lava bubble sub-area, and while they were a bit of a pain, it meant we could go to Ruined Kingdom. And yeah, this kingdom's ruined by something, alright. Why is everything gray? Why is it like this? Damn, the camera angle kind of sick though. Okay, so it's just a regular battle, I guess, with just poor visibility. And poor visibility is actually pretty annoying, as not only is Mario old, bald, and blind, but now so am I. And this is a big problem for finding the stakes that need to be removed to beat the dragon. Luckily, the fog is no match for my ability to spam the cap throw button, and the duo are quickly ready to head off to what might possibly be my favorite kingdom in this mod. Bowser's Kingdom is steep, and at first I thought it was actually going to be one of the worst kingdoms, but it's saved entirely because of one capture, the Pokio. Pokios can stab into surfaces and fling off them, and flipping the kingdom on its side means it's a completely new challenge. Sure, yeah, you can literally jump from one island to another, but this kingdom has a specific moon order required to be able to progress. The first Pokio moon makes you carefully descend to get the moon, and then using the ground, flick your way along to get back up the wall. On the following island, the Stairface Ogre is easily dealt with by jumping off this wall and nailing an awkward ground pound, and this moon was starting to show the cracks in Mario's existence. Next is the second courtyard, and I was having a blast with such a simple yet effective change-up. This is actually really cool now, because it completely changes what the Pokio puzzles are. I thought this was going to be an awful kingdom for this mod, but this is one of the best ones. All because of the Pokio, really. Because stuff like this is just way more treacherous now. I collected the final moon shard and grabbed the moon, which led me to my next goal. Backslash. Please tell me we don't have to fight Topper and Harriet. We don't. Yes. Yes! Backslash. What is happening with Mario's eyes? What is going on there? Unfortunately, Mario wasn't the only thing breaking, which meant this door didn't open as it normally would, but it wasn't a big deal because I just long jumped to the top of the invisible wall and leapt off. And in a climactic finish, Mario and Cappy reach yet another multi-moon. Seriously, what's going on with Mario's eyes? What is happening to Mario? But ignoring that, it was time to go to the moon, and as you can imagine, this kingdom was an absolute breeze. Long jumps easily get us into the church, and we can even jump right past the door and awkwardly wait around for Peach and Bowser to notice Mario. Unfortunately, they never notice me, so instead I decide to kill myself. In-game, of course, and then bust in to crash the wedding. The final Bowser fight was actually kind of tricky due to what I can only assume is a bug from the slanted stage. After hitting Bowser, Mario just starts sliding away from Bowser, and it actually makes doing the combo sections really annoying. Eventually, I overcame the glitchy obstacle, and it was time for escape, where this had a slight tilt, but the real change came in two forms. The blocks that fall away being placed at odd angles, and the 2D section completely bugging out randomly, making you go one-dimensional and killing your momentum. Ignoring the second part, the final escape area is actually way more fun now because you need to watch your footing. No!